Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Euro Cooking Canuck. On today's segment of the Memories of Malta, we're going to be doing another pork and sauerkraut recipe. However, it's a little bit different than the manja one I showed you, which I'll put the link to below. The manja one had stewing tomatoes and the pork was not smoked. This is going to be with smoked pork. Now, what I have here is a big head of fermented cabbage. Fermented cabbage is very popular all over the Balkans and it's very, very good for you. There's a lot of benefits to eating fermented foods, everything from digestion to your whole well-being. If you do not have a whole head like this, you can use a large jar of sauerkraut. If you don't have either, you can use just regular cabbage, shred it up, add some salt, squeeze it out, let it sit for about a half an hour, and then add it into a pan with a little bit of vinegar, and you can do the same thing. So sit right back, and I'm going to show you the rest of the ingredients for what we need to make this amazing dish. What we're making today is called podvarok. Ingredients you're going to need are some smoked pork. Now what I have are two pork shanks or pork hocks. You can use one and one rib, it's up to you, but use smoked. You can use some bacon in here, but I don't think it's necessary because the smoky flavor is enough in here. You're going to need some paprika from Macedonia preferably. You're going to need some hot chili peppers, chili flakes from Macedonia, preferably. Some kind of seasoning like de finca or vegeta. You can put an onion and garlic in here, but I'm going to be using the dried mince type because I don't want huge chunks. Again, a little bit of smoky paprika just for good measure. And one large, or what I have are 3 small carrots. So that's everything, and I'll show you what we do when we come back. Let's go make this, guys. Hey guys, welcome back. Now, I forgot to mention you are going to need some oil. I use a combo of olive oil and sunflower oil. Salt and pepper to taste. And the first step is to lightly season, especially the fatty parts of the smoked pork with the smoky paprika, salt and pepper. That's it, because there's enough flavoring in the meat. We're just going to put this in some hot oil and get it lightly browned until there's a nice color. We're going to remove them and I'll show you what we do next. Hey guys, so my pork shanks are in the pan, frying at a medium high, not too high. Forgot to mention I did rinse them and patted them dry with paper towel first. Now, if you are vegetarian, you can do this with a firm smoky tofu or even some portobello mushrooms with smoky paprika on them and fry them up. So you're going to continue to keep turning your meat and browning all sides. So now my smoked pork is out of the pan. And just let it rest, set it aside until you need it later. The next step you do, now if you're using jarred sauerkraut, you don't need to do this, but the next step would be to put the head of cabbage in a bowl to make sure you reserve all those, the liquor, the juices, and then you're going to start shredding or cutting your cabbage like so, and you can see it'll flick apart, right? So continue doing that and then I'll show you what I do next. And by the way, reserve that oil, we're gonna need it. Hey guys, so at this point you're going to turn that oil back on, and if you are using onion, now would be the time to use it. What you're going to do is gently saute your carrots in that oil, not overdone, but you just want them to get that smoky flavor from the smoked pork. And then you're going to remove them. Don't forget to turn your heat off now. and add them to your cabbage, which you can see I've nicely shredded. You do not have to remove the hard cores because this is fermented, so it's just the same texture. All right, and then I'll show you what we do next. All right, guys, choose your weapon. I'm using the clay pot. I think you should too, but casserole dish works fine. While the oil is still hot, empty about half and reserve the rest. You're going to need it. Okay, maybe it's a little bit more than half. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add your cabbage and carrots. Don't worry about displacement right now. We will fix that later. Because what you're going to do now is add your paprika, your seasoning, your dafinka or your vegeta, your smoky paprika, a little bit of pepper, some salt if you want. Alright guys, so I've mixed the cabbage mixture with all the spices, the minced garlic, minced onion, and enough water to come about halfway. As I was saying, don't add salt yet. Wait until you taste this when it's about ready to be taken out of the oven. All right, and we'll be back. What you're going to do now, obviously, is put your pork shanks in. I'm going to bury them in there and pop a lid on it, and we're going to stick this in the oven and let it go. Hello friends, welcome back. So I have partially submerged the pork hocks. I've left the most fattiest or skin side up for now. What you're going to do, and I put on all the spices, the dafinka, the smoky paprika, the regular paprika, the pepper, the onion and garlic, as I mentioned. Now I'm going to pop my lid on it, put it into a preheated oven at set around 250, and we're going to let this go until it's bubbling and the meat is very tender and almost falling off the bone, and then I'll show you the final steps. Hey guys, halfway through cooking time, what I did was I checked my water level. I had plenty of liquid in there. I gave it a taste. It was amazing. So I'm just going to let this go a little bit further until the meat gets more tender, and then I'll show you the last couple of steps. Okay guys, our casserole is really woo, steaming up a storm here. The meat is, oof, you can't even see from the steam, but it's fall off the bone tender. So what I'm going to do now is, in that reserved oil, you may need to add a bit as I did. You're going to put some paprika, smoked paprika. Now some people add a bit of flour, I never do. Just keep it going and keep it stirring. You don't want to burn this. Now, you don't need to use all of it. Then what you're going to do is transfer this to your casserole gently. And you want to hear that sizzle. Right. What you're going to do is give this a quick zhuzh, and you're going to pop it back in the oven for about, I'd say another half hour. Now, if you have a lot of liquid, you can leave it uncovered. However, if you like to dip your crusty bread into the broth, I would leave it covered. It's up to you. Alright guys, so this is basically the last portion of the step of cooking before we really serve it up. It smells amazing. Well everyone, as you can see, our sauerkraut and smoked meat casserole, Macedonian style, is done. I've removed the bones, it just fell off the bone. And this is ready to serve with crusty bread. You can have a salad with it. Do enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Memories of Macedonia. Ciao, prijetno. So everyone, our meal is done, and I just wanted to come back and show you. So I have oh, it's so lovely, the sauerkraut casserole with this smoked meat. I've taken it off the bone. I have some nice bread, my crispy bits, and some Casserole from Macedonia. And I'm just gonna put a little more broth, just so I can dip that bread into. Guys, I know I already said goodbye, but now I really mean it. Ajde prijetno, goodbye, hvala mnogo, ciao. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, hit subscribe, and send me your comments.